eCapitol News Director Sean Ashley joins us with other developments at the Capitol. Sean, thank you so much for being with us.
You're very welcome.
Well, I understand the State Department of Education has issued its proposed budget for the next fiscal year. What are they asking for?
That's right. They're asking for about $3.4 billion, which is almost 400 and some million more than what they received for the current fiscal year. The largest area of growth in this budget appears to be that money which would go through the state aid formula, which is primarily that money which goes to classrooms. For the current fiscal year, they received about $2.2 billion. They're asking for $2.5 billion in the coming fiscal year. Their ultimate goal is to begin to reduce class size, so once again they can get back to those class size levels that are set in state statute.
A leader in the Senate now wants to take another look at establishing an Office of Accountability. That's something that's been tried before, right?
Yes, they've talked about this for a number of years. In fact, Senate President Pro Tem Designate Greg Treat said that this idea has been talked about for about 20 years. In fact, 10 years ago, a piece of legislation was passed, but it was vetoed by then Governor Brad Henry. And then another piece of legislation was considered last year, which did not make it all the way through the process. Ideally, what this office would do would be sort of an oversight office. It would look at all state agencies, their spending, how they're implementing state laws, and their various policies and procedures. They heard from the deputy director of such an office in New Mexico, and that seems to be the model they're looking at. New Mexico's joint and bipartisan Legislative Finance Committee.
Might be time to take a really serious look at that.
It looks like they're committed to doing it, in fact.
In Oklahoma. And they're going to start taking a serious look at motorists in the state's two largest cities. Explain what that's about.
Yes, for several years there has been an effort to decrease the number of uninsured motorists in the state of Oklahoma. However, it really hasn't been successful. There have been problems with the database and other efforts. This will bring a set of cameras to Oklahoma City and Tulsa that will read license plates and then compare them to a database maintained by the insurance department that shows whether or not that particular vehicle has automobile insurance. If it does not, they will receive a letter, which includes a fine, or they can show that they did in fact have insurance and not have to pay the fine. The fine will be $174 if they don't.
Wow. All
yes.
right. Everybody pay attention to that.
Exactly.
And the Senate Appropriations Committee heard an interim study about transferring water from one aquifer to another. What did they hear about?
Yes, Senator Dave Rader, a Republican from Tulsa, has been interested in water issues since he joined the legislature a couple of years ago. And this really began as a question he asked someone from the U.S. Geological Society whether it would be possible to take water from one aquifer, say in east central Oklahoma, and put it in another aquifer, say in central western Oklahoma, that is lower because of the drought and other problems. They got a lesson in geology, hydrology, physics, chemistry, and the ultimate answer was yes, it might be possible. The University of Oklahoma is looking at the possibility of conducting a study to see if it indeed might work. That study would cost about $1.5 million.
And do they have any idea how much such a transfer might cost before the study?
No. In fact, one of the things that the geologists pointed out was they are only looking at the physics, the chemistry, the science of whether it is possible, not how much it would cost to build the pipeline and what some of the concerns about that might be.
All right. Sean Ashley with eCapitol, thank you so much.
You're very welcome.